After I decided to rebuild and simplify my life as a man, minimalism was essential. But I'm talking about smart minimalism. Because I don't know about you, but I used to watch those minimalism videos and I was like, man, I get the point, but isn't that so boring that you become so minimalist that you don't leave? Like the whole time you're thinking about how can I not get this? And it didn't feel like something that got me excited. But instead, I opted for smart minimalism. I'm Kay, and by the way, this is the best way to keep in touch with me. And for context, I used to own small businesses, more or less in the digital industry. I had a video production company, then I had kind of a branding agency, and then building websites. So that's what I was doing. It was kind of linked together, but basically that was my business. So I had a lot of equipment. I used to work on like a ultra wide screen. Then I had two other very big screens, 4 or 5 computers. Like even thinking about it today, it's like crazy. At one point I had 12 microphones. Yeah, 12 microphones, and more about that in a moment. But this was my context. I had so many things. Now, because I decided to travel the world and I wanted to just break away from my environment, and actually I never went back to my place. So I've been traveling ever since. So with that in mind, I really needed to find a way where I can easily travel and be flexible while still having the gear I need. So let me give you an example. I told you I had an ultra wide screen and another couple of big screens and a couple of smaller ones. Of course, when you travel, you cannot travel with all of that. So at one point I tried to use another external monitor because I have a 16-inch screen laptop. But in reality, that's not enough. Even the additional screen, I think it was like 15 inch. So I bought something like this. And I will talk about these in the channel. So these are the X-Real 1 Pro. And actually, it doesn't really matter which brand you're getting, but basically, these are just like regular sunglasses, a bit bigger, but still sunglasses. And what you get with these is 2 micro OLED panels in there, and I can get an ultra wide screen, as ultra wide as I think it was a Samsung 49-inch ultra wide that I had. I get the same thing in here, a full-blown ultra wide screen. Now, I don't always work on ultra wide, so when I don't work on ultra wide, I can have a super giant screen. I can actually decide how big I want it to be. But the point is, I went from having all those big monitors to this. So this is smart minimalism for me. I still get the benefit of the ultra wide screen, but in that form factor. And people say, yeah, but these are expensive and it's only 1080p panels. Once again, I will make a video dedicated to these pair of glasses, but the quality is so good. You know, I'm a sucker for a nice 4K screen, and I love Mac and I got Retina screens. I'm telling you, this, even at 1080p, it's so crisp if you got the right model though. So it looks really good. So I was saying, people say these are expensive, but these are half the price of an ultra wide screen. The Samsung one I was talking about was double the price of these, and these are the Pro version. And this is less than an iPhone. Now, I love my iPhone, but to be honest, when I see people changing every year, I'm not judging, I'm just saying this is less than an iPhone, but it does more in my opinion. If you already own one iPhone, you got the iPhone from last year or 2 years ago, it's still good. You might get this instead, and it's going to achieve more than just getting a new iPhone that only has a better camera than the previous one you had. I mean, at least that was my train of thought. And you do what you want with your money. So I'm not trying to say if you change iPhone all the time, you're a bad person. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say if you have the money to buy an iPhone, then don't come and tell me that this is expensive. I think these are like $600. And a lot of people, they don't see the benefit, so they will say it's expensive. But for me, it saves me money, saves me space, and saves me a lot of time because I could work with these in an airport, and basically I can carry my screens everywhere with me in that form factor. Now, another example is the microphones. Like I said, at one point, I think I had like 12 microphones because I was running the other YouTube channels, and it struck me one day, like, bro, 12 microphones, you only got one mouth. But at the time, I was just experimenting. I wanted the best sound, the best microphone. And truth is, yeah, the microphone is important, but the environment, You know, if your room is treated, you're gonna get good sound even with a mediocre microphone. And on the other hand, if you have the best microphone, but you got crappy sound, like with the floor with marble and it's just reflecting the sound, it's gonna be really hard to get a decent sound. So nowadays, I'm gonna show you what I'm using that you can see right here. I got this tiny microphone, and this basically, I can put it in here. It's the same size as the AirPods. You know, I can put the microphone in there, can put it in there, and it's just going to recharge the microphone. So this thing is so tiny, and I don't need anything else. Now, not gonna lie, I have some other microphones, but not 12. I have one with a boom arm you might see in other videos, because sometimes I want to be closer to the microphone to give it better sound, like podcast style sound. So right now I rock this one and the one on the boom arm that you might see later. Now, another area where I embrace smart minimalism is video games. Now, you know, as men, we love our video games. Now, I don't think you should play video games all the time, but it's now proven that video games can actually help you. And it's also proven that it's way better than doom scrolling. So the issue is, I used to have like a big PC, you know, those tower PCs. I also had a PlayStation 5, so you need the TV, you need the screens, all of that. I couldn't take all of that with me, so I didn't take it basically. Instead, I replaced it with something like this. This is a VR headset. And even without a PC, you can game on this, and I actually did for a while. And then eventually I got a laptop, and I could not believe you can actually now play VR on a laptop, and it works super well. But the point is, even if I didn't get that laptop, I can play on this. I can actually also work on it. I can have like, same thing, ultra wide screen. The only difference is that if I take this and this I can go to Starbucks with, or be in an airport or wherever, and I don't feel awkward, because most people don't realize it's even a device. I mean, there's a cable coming from it to the device I'm using, so eventually they know. But actually it's better. Otherwise they would think I'm a bit weird of just looking everywhere like that. But what I mean is, it doesn't feel awkward. Whereas this, I enjoy using it at home, but I'm not gonna use it in Starbucks. There's no way I'm doing that. Maybe someday those headsets will be small enough, a bit like this, where you can wear it and everybody will be wearing it. But to this day, this is better. But still, VR at home is great. You can play, you can work, you can entertain yourself, like watching Netflix on a giant screen in an IMAX cinema. You can do it here with a free app. So basically, this is how I use smart minimalism to have all my entertainment in that box. And that's what I personally call smart minimalism. Not just owning a chair and a bed and that's it. And I'm not trying to mock people who do this. If they find happiness, then, you know, I'm super happy for you. For me, I couldn't go from where I was to that state. Maybe one day I will get to that stage. But for the moment, I'm trying to get rid of everything I really don't need, but I still want to keep my comfort, but in a smaller form factor. So what about you? Are you also a smart minimalist? Are you a more traditional minimalist? Or were you inspired by what I shared in this video? Please let me know in the comments. We're a community. I'm trying to build this community. For the moment, the community is me, my mouth, and my 10 fingers here. You know, I speak with the hands sometimes. But I hope you're going to join the community. And if you have any tip also about things we don't necessarily think about that you can downsize and still keep your comfort, please let me know in the comments, as well as your favorite piece of tech. I'm a tech nerd, so I'd like to know. As for me, I'll see you in the next one.